stuff about us in the past, but it's like stuff that like I've always found it funny because I know it's Angel, you know. And he's the same in person as well. Like to my face, he would just call me an idiot, you know. Like he's a funny guy.
The util that KRU has on their side
Angel's a
because
funny guy,
Chamber
man.
walking up, TPing off. That's
Like one example
so
was
much
like
stuff that
after
they
we
can use
won
in order to bait. So I think
lock-in,
both these teams right now
like the top
looking
four
pretty
teams are
balanced.
still
I
at the
think
event,
picking
so
comps
we're all at the
that
hotel
suit
just
their
like
playstyle.
drinking after the event,
Yeah.
hanging out or whatever.
We'll
Like
see how it
Loud,
plays out.
us, Navi,
A quiet start for the
Paper
attacking side,
X, I think.
who are still trying to
And when we came into the room, like Angel was like, I'm gonna leave because they're all too happy. Look at them, they just won a trophy, they're all too happy. He's a funny guy.
But SMG have members in the smokes. They're all here on site. They're going to be able to take this fight. Kahibi's able to get the first.
Okay, let's concentrate. We got Chamber versus Double Initiator, and again we got SMG just pushing out flanks like that. What I'd say, if I didn't have VODs against SMG on a map, I would always be worried about them pushing flanks. Like again, we saw this all of Lotus.
On either side, but we do see a battle 2v2 within that spawn area.
And it's so good on bind. So good on bind.
Keeping these duos apart as it dissipates. The gunfire erupts and it goes tit for tat in favor of KRU. Numbers their way. However, Shies is left alone, 57 HP, and yeah, you dealt with the two that were in your lap. You have to deal with the other two that are on the flank. Alexi's left alone. She thought
she was defusing on the inside.
Way too close for comfort.
I mean, what an
yeah, so I think we saw an
so
instant hooker push there. Like it's just
doing so well in the amount of space that they had. KRU actually
like I would be telling Alpha, I'd be like, look, Alpha, SMG, literally every single map, they play aggressively on both sides, and then the side we exec on, you have to contain the other side for us. Like the flank contain player has to do a good job against SMG. If you don't have a good flank contain player, you're probably gonna lose.
And now we actually have Inari playing with that judge, and this is what I'm excited about because I love the judge on Inari, and she's gonna be holding that.
What's going on?
Short.
Why is that one saying Alexis?
4 players of KRU outside of long. Kunir gets 1.
An excellent start. Alexi no longer around. You still have Kahai.
Oh, Alexi.
Cause some problems with the headhunter bullets. 3 left. See the dog trampling forward, trying to apply some pressure onto that chamber. Kahibi taking a little bit of a step back, expecting the aggression. That shot lands right between the eyes.
Kahibi.
My gosh, it's clear confidence on Kahibi to take that peek, and now
honestly, I think if we get this orb, just take TP, get this orb, and it's a successful eco round, in my opinion.
These players have to come up with a
really both the orbs
in order to execute. They don't have the eye. They still have a flashes.
Just get the orb for Brim right here. We're kind of getting close.
So a full execute here would be good enough. They're just holding, chilling, making sure that maybe they rotate, maybe they try to get some info, but no.
Oh.
Double Senti holding the site down.
Okay, never mind. Just exec the site.
There.
This is a good start for
access of B, and this time it's a bit of a different story here. They do have a Stinger, or excuse me, a Spectre and a Bulldog to fight back with. But
no,
the tail of the tournament has been these 2v4s, and maybe SMG can do it again. They've got the satchels, they've got an aid, you've got just so many things to deal with in Eric.
Okay, nice. Nice one from Michaela.
On the round as they tie us up early.
I think that's probably the most important player on bind for you to get kind of confidence on, like the race player. It's a nice little 4K.
From their heads. This execute looking great. SMG not taking the time to figure out how they want to play the double sentis on site. They wanted
Thoughts on the chamber? I think chamber's really good on mine.
If
I didn't think that, we wouldn't have played chamber on mine.
Giving up the line, just taking jiggle peeks. That's not how you want to be playing, especially against sheriffs and especially against Michaela.
I do think it's a bit weaker against this kind of composition potentially though, where we don't see this very often anymore. Like the double initiator. It does have a lot of like stuff to push off the chamber.
Again, very reminiscent of what we saw in Lotus. A lot of denial of space early, a lot of taking that away is SMG, not just in the space, but they're farming the shower orbs too.
Yeah, for sure. Those orbs are so important. We normally see SMG fighting for double extremities in most of these maps that they're playing, but again, they're only kind of setting up for that showers and trusting their double sentis to hold down the site, the chamber and the Viper on B. still kind of SMG style, but I understand that, like with these sheriffs, that they're only trying to take those fights in certain areas.
Right.
Most common, I think Siggy's noted this in the past,
So with that,
common
a bit of a
anti-eco,
step
got
back.
B, smoke off these three.
See if
I want to
SMG
say that
wanna flood through Telly and take this fight, if they wanna
this is something that we used to do a very long time
quickly
ago,
flood
like
via the flank,
2020.
or how they wanna do this. They are sending 2 on the flank, leaving 1 player on site.
No,
Kahabi is able to
2020.
get 1.
When did Valorant come out?
2 sheriffs left
It's
for
2020?
the defense. And they're dealing with the flank Rami is, or at least attempting to, as Shirazi's going to fall on the site. The few resources that they had are crumbling
Summon off
all
C
around them.
days.
KRU should get
Yeah,
this second
Summon
round.
FC days when when like, do you remember that era when like we were like the best at bind and it was the only map we were good at? Like I think this is one of the things we used to do quite a lot.
And as we can see, KRU already spotted that out and took that advantage of those in these last 2 rounds. I wonder if they're going to switch things up and try to get an operator online for SMG. But again, they don't have that much money. They're not going to be able to do it just yet, but they're one off the Tour de Force for Chamber.
Tour de Force.
And I wonder with some of the success that they've had in
Michaela one off
getting
ult.
Showers control and getting that
One
order,
off
I wonder
ult
if
for
we're gonna
these
see
two.
something early to get that
So what are we gonna do?
over to her, but
What are we gonna
it doesn't
do?
look like it's gonna be the case. Instead,
I
opting to
want
take an aggressive
defense to
line.
try and deny one of these
Short,
orbs.
never mind. I've lied to you.
Usually
I've
we
lied
would
to you,
deny
good
this
people.
one
I've
because
been
it's a bit
trolled,
more
I've been
defense
baited.
sided.
That does seem to be the play. You're
And that's
sending
why we
retort
see the
showers to
Ray
get that.
Satchel across
Meanwhile,
trying to
KRU,
deny the orb grab,
pussy
and we're gonna
towards
go up
B.
quick and take it from the brim with a race. And I just want to see a straight exec here. I want to just see them go in with the ult. Oh, a bit of a
Naturally,
miss.
it was an Aerie who
But
got the orb.
I don't think you give it to
No
Raze
Tour de
now.
Force
You've used
online.
both your
Yes.
satchels.
KRU have done a really good job of getting up
Yeah.
until this point.
I think that's a
Right? They
mistake.
take
I think that's a
long,
little
They
mistake.
grab the orb and then they freeze here.
They're
This
just
time, what do
walking
they
in.
choose to do? They've got the dog pushing forward, the
Kinda like an
showstopper and the
EG ult.
prowler. Everything let out the kennel.
We just use it to create with the
Caleb pushing
space.
forward, just
So
looking,
good.
guessing, trying to see
What's
if
our post plant like? We're gonna push elbow. I like it.
showstopper not gonna flash on the other side.
But Alexi
What
just kills
on
2.
earth was that? Oh, I
And
didn't
now
see
we
that
use the
again.
brim. Okay, so we get the
Those
brim
are
ult with the
strike,
plant.
but it's
Okay, I
not
like
really
that.
gonna matter. They're able to heal up, they're
That
able
was
to
actually
make
really
space,
smart
and
to
now
get
they're
the brim
gonna
ult with
fill
the
in on
plant.
vacancy that's been left.
Unfortunately,
Yeah, this is
yeah.
going to be a fast flood off those 2 kills. Really great round. Kohaiban and Camille
Okay.
cleaning up. Kamir and Michaela and Romy left in that hookah spot, but it is a firing squad. But she can
So
get
I think it
2.
was smart to use the
Really
Raze
good
ult to get
guns
on the
down
site and then
underneath.
the brim
I
ult
mean,
for the
coming in,
post. But I'd say that
yeah, like
pushing
we
the
said, they
elbow
do a
in
really good
hindsight
job of
wasn't
keeping us
actually
on
the right
control,
play.
but so
We
far
had
it
2
has
Viper
only
spits
been
still,
long control
and we
until
had a
we
brim
take it.
ult.
And
So all
again,
we need to
do
do is
have
play
this
offsite
chamber with this Tour de Force up,
and
so
just
they
use
can
our
kind of
spits and
take
our
it.
ult
But look at these kills.
and just
Alexi
play to
so
survive.
clean, just holding her ground, standing her ground.
I don't think we need
Blood
to
off
push
those
elbow there
kills.
with 2 people.
Super important. And
And
now,
then
you know,
Brim was
the
kind of
downfall
forced
as
to
well
ult
of this
elbow
comp
because like
for
they're in a
SMG is that
disadvantage.
they can't get
So
into
yeah.
as much. So KRU
Right.
is abusing that because they know that as soon as they stop and they freeze, kind of what you mentioned earlier, that the way that SMG has to retake info is a dog or a flash, and they haven't been using
It
that
was
towards long.
3v5,
Now the
but like
fight
it
towards
felt like
Showers
it could
and Mary
easily have been a
getting one.
3v3 with
Showers
how
and
the ult was
Stray.
positioned, to be honest.
2 shots of the Tour de Force have been
Fast
used. Neither of them
showers,
have
but
landed.
what-
Make that a third.
But what are we doing over
Try
here?
and keep tabs on that.
Like if we do a showers default like this aggressively,
Didn't even get a kill.
we want the option to crunch with this. We want
Hey, we
big
got all
pressure
the
here, and we want the
Yeah,
option to
that's
crunch.
true.
So I'm a bit confused why we saw.
And now they're grouping
I
up
think
towards
the
long.
Viper
This is
ended up having to
exactly what I was
TP or
talking about.
something.
I mean, we have this guy spotting in hookah. This is fine
Because
if
whilst
they
this
take
fight
this
is
fight
happening,
and
we
they
can
keep
kind of
this
crunch.
hookah control. It is not fine because the Seekers are actually
What
going
the
to
hell's
come
going on
and
outside,
they're going
man?
to know that this guy's alone in hookah and crunching this from long is going to be
This
so
guy should
hard
be
to
dead.
hold.
But
Alexi
it's
has to fight
Alexi,
on
so-
her own, and that the thing, Khalida had no more flashes. Used the first just to get closer into it. Didn't have anything else to fight with, so
We're just
Hookah
pushing
stays
elbow with
controlled. They
3
have Seekers
people.
of their own. Kahibi's still looking for some value with that ult.
They can
and
actually,
they're
they're actually
in
picking
their
to go
spot.
to A.
Now, are they going to go all the way through?
That's
Oh
kinda
gosh,
sick.
They're going to go all the way through. The smoke dissipates. Kahibi
turn around.
right on their heels. Puts one in between the eyes on her. He tries to get onto the second,
Ooh.
cannot. And it's Alexi
But they
who
didn't
is the
realize
hero.
Alexi took
in hookah.
TP.
Somehow through all of that, got it.
Oh.
The Red Bull clutch for Alexi.
It's that land sign
Crazy
moment.
round. I mean, KRU, they knew there was only one in hookah, but still sped up way too fast. Kalita, if she just waited a couple more seconds for her team to get out on site and help her, it would have been perfect. But either way, Alexi, the true hero, the true star of this round, even after that hookah kill, instantly rotating towards A and just being so ahead ahead of what the other team is doing.
Look at,
I think
did you
this
see
is
the
a
little,
round that might
what's that?
potentially get
I need to
SMG
clip that.
into the heads of KRU, because that is a hard one to lose.
Oh, for sure. You could tell they had such little idea of what was going on. They were running through pipes, knives out.
But still sped up way
sorry.
too fast.
Where they could have been. You see the op invested.
Oh, Judge.
The judges arrived.
The slug club judge. Judge club slug.
Bit of spam into the smoke.
Judge club hooray.
Keep an eye on this flank though. Aries
Nice
so
fast
far
strat.
advanced right now.
I think KRU would do better in general if they just added more fast strats, I think, in their overall playbooks and all the maps. I don't think you're gonna beat teams playing like a slow default tile when like there's players that are just so good on SMG.
They're just gonna hold on to this. Kamiyu's got Kamiyu just narrowly missing getting it to half.
And look how messy they make it every single time they do like something together and fast. Again, like just another round. Sorry, I was clipping that because there's a funny little.
I mean, that was so back and forth. Kamiyu just peeking and getting kills of her own, not even scared, not even waiting for teammates' util, but played so well by KRU, just sitting in that smoke, being patient, waiting for the tap, and then after that, just absolutely playing amazingly. And of course, this judge, you guys know me and the judge. I love this. Rooney's so patient. The crossfire between the Fade and the Viper to end the round so beautifully. That was great. And I love to see this talk. Oh my God, Shies is fired up.
Pop off, sis.
A trap in hookahs.
I can't actually get the thing up.
This is so much information for KRU right away. They know that there's three. They heard the Sky Flash Chamber. They
Judge Club hooray!
One of her own pushing up into showers, but Shies is just holding that.
It's good to get hyped up, but like I feel like if you're getting hyped up off of flaming the opponent, then you end up like something that happened with a couple of players over the years in my coaching was that if you feel the need to like
maybe getting a little too cheeky,
kind of like disrespect the opponent, you end up losing, to be honest.
They can get out onto the site, they invest a pit, and then we're gonna get a little bit more of the chaos that we saw.
It puts pressure on yourself.
But that did seem to be something that worked out. It was a strength.
There are people who are very good at it though, obviously. But
I
think most of the time it just puts unnecessary pressure on yourself.
Oh,
that's nasty.
I mean, they might still be able to stabilize this. They're gonna get the pit down.
And Aries got the raise,
so. So there goes that pit. They have been able to upgrade some weapons. Kamiyu has, and Aries is not, but she does still have.
Strange decision to do an ult like that and then insta rotate.
Michaela weak, Rami not.
I don't hate it, but
they're dividing the resources. One's gone into elbow.
No, why are we jiggling? Oh, 29 HP.
If there's a lineup for it, but it's just one. Is that really how you want to play this out? That nade went towards Octagon. That's gonna connect.
One enemy remaining.
And there's really nothing she can do. Rami's got to be really fast on this. Kamiyu's
Okay, fine.
She's gonna get both. The Red Bull clutch.
I like Rami wasn't sure how to spit.
My gosh, what a round, KRU. That was.
Has Killjoy's place in the meta now that Cypher's Giga buffed? I think it'd be quite coin flippy on some maps.
But KRU, the really fast reactions. The Viper ult, that was kind of crazy, but I love the reactions going back towards me. Romy splitting up with her team.
I did say I like this map pick from KRU.
Right,
I do think this is the map I would pick if I was KRU.
With that Red Bull clutch from Romy, that was absolutely wonderful. And now they are starting the round with that orbital strike on Brim.
Another cheeky pop-off too. You saw it on the screens. KRU feeling it with the lead. And much like you said a couple of rounds ago, it feels like Lotus is just, I mean, it's a distance.
Cypher was never too far behind Killjoy. It was just the fact that everyone just played, like when everyone plays something, people think it's the best, but it doesn't make it the best.
That's okay. Is she gonna get out? Yeah. Just barely. 16
Like,
HP.
you notice, like whenever someone asks a question, like, "Oh, why is this better than that?" and then they'll just say reasons like, "Yeah, because this agent could do this." And it's like, yeah, but that doesn't make it better or worse. You're just saying, you're just giving like, you're just saying stuff, you know? Like, why is Killjoy better than Cypher? And then someone just be like, because he's got damage util. And it's like, yeah, but that doesn't really explain anything. Like, I could use the same logic to explain why ISO is better than
It does
everything.
seem like through
you know
all
what
of that,
I mean?
they are going to be able to still maintain control of the spike. There was concern for a moment, but Kinnear scoops it back.
It's hard to
up.
like
Still has
actually
one smoke to play with.
quantify stuff.
Don't really have any of Rami's controller utility they can work with, the orb or the wall or anything like that. So it's just
Yeah,
this
Brim wants
one
to
smoke.
open
If
up
they
the
pop
sky
on
for
this,
sure.
That's all they have. Their contact.
But I say Fnatic is an
Really
aggro
no
mid-range
other
or control
option. So
team.
just a half
Depends on the
second
map,
late
of
for
course.
Kamiyu. She's gonna fall. And with 10 seconds, they've got full site control. The thing they don't have is Octagon here. This can be very pacey out from SMG, should they choose to pounce. Alexi weak, the first spot, it taking a quick bite out of Kinnear.
I mean, I split not being too aggro. Well, it kind of is, but
Rami's getting a second. This is going to be another vintage numbers deficit situation that they're somehow going to pull out of a hat. Kaibi getting onto the first starting to try to crunch on elbow. That's exactly what they do. Shirazi gets two and SMG get the round.
Oh my god. Both teams just flipping this round constantly in their favor. I mean, again, taking back that long control.
Sorry, I didn't pay attention to this round at all.
Such a good play.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't watch this round. So well played the winning team. They did the really good job, and that the losing team played poorly. That's some analysis right there.
So good, but instead,
That's some
it went
analysis.
so back and
Time
forth.
out
I mean,
SMG,
thank God
like
for these players
after
in
that
Scotland. Thank
round,
God for the
there's a
good
good reason
timing,
for that.
flanking that
But I'm
elbow
not gonna
and
tell you
getting the
why,
kill
because
onto Michaela, because that was super important. If
that
they
would be
didn't
giving
get
away
that
too much
elbow kill,
information.
that was gonna be a really rough retake.
I'm just kidding,
I
I
mean,
didn't
low-key,
watch
I
the
don't
round.
think they're winning the round.
Yeah.
Right? If they don't
sure.
get that kill,
It was a
you're
3v5 though,
absolutely
you said?
right.
3v5?
And that's the fun thing
Makes
about
sense.
when we see at the biggest stage of the year, it is something that
They haven't given away momentum yet though, so it's often strange to get a timeout when you're not giving away momentum. That you really have to have like a really good reason to like timeout.
Everything when it comes to a situation like that, it's a lot of fun. SMG on a quick timeout here.
Can I
Yeah,
do the
mean,
best
for
the game
both these
impression?
teams, it's looking
I-
really back and
I've been
forth.
trying.
I think KRU getting 4 rounds on attack, this is their map pick, right? So I'm expecting
Right.
them to be more explosive and try to get at least 5, 6, or
Do his
7
accent?
rounds. I know that's kind of the name
I
of the
can't do
game,
his
but
accent.
especially when it's your
it's
map pick, you need to be
Pretty
100%
similar to mine, except a
defense
bit
that you're
more
ready.
posh.
And again,
And I don't know how
SMG,
to do
they have
that.
chamber. They have that ability to bait out your util on that defense side. So they should be a lot more explosive, or at least be able to be a lot more explosive with this double initiator comp.
Yeah, sure. Has not been their approach up until this point. We'll see if that changes in this round. Tied at 4 apiece.
Okay, so we
You've
got
the
5
showstopper
ults on
for
both
Michaela and the judge
sides.
in hand. So keep a close eye
It's
on
really
that.
important here that we
She's
don't
shown
just let the
proficiency
Viper's
with the weapon on more than one
Viper ult
occasion.
get down. So we're gonna go for a Judge Lamps play, and then try and secure the
Quick
Viper ult.
flash, up close and
So
personal,
the Viper
not
needs to do a
finding
really
it.
good job of
Michaela
denying.
has
I
gotten
don't
out
like
of the
this
box.
spit
Haunt not spotting anything as the
from
smokes go
Viper.
down.
I
There's
don't
the
love it.
satchel, there's the ult. The dog paving the way, and Michaela. Oh, no
Nice ult.
way.
We need
That
the
was
spit
not
to
the
deny
intended
the
path, but it worked
plant.
out. The flashback sight. This is such a miserable
You need
spot
to
be
deny
in,
the
but
plant.
Shirazi finding some comfort, finding some room to breathe.
Raise nade comes
Here,
in.
try to fight back and take elbow. Or, excuse me,
Nice
lands, and it
judge.
is going to work. Shy's
Slug,
falls, the
slug Judge Club
finding value,
hooray.
and how much more will it find as they
Oh,
have to
crouch
push
attack.
her. Surely they have to push her. The thing is, they know it's there.
Bit of awkward movements
the
between
fight
the
isn't even
satcheling there,
planted.
but
They're just delaying for so long. KRU, you need to
I think
do
with how
something in
much
that
time
fight.
they
I mean, the first
there was
kill
between
so
the ult,
beautiful. The
I feel
flash
like
of
we
the
should have been
smoke.
able to
I
plant
mean,
there
that
quite
would've been
easily.
perfect if as a team they decided to take the space.
Straight
But
after
instead
that
they took
raise.
so long
Oh.
to get that spike down. They took so long to get into any positions. They gave so much time for SMG to come back. I mean, look at this. Beautiful kill, but just letting and
Is there a
daring get these kills, that is
personality
not
type
what
attitude you
want
look
at all. You're
for
setting up
or
the
develop in your
crossfires before
players?
you even have the spike down. Like, that was just so hard for KRU. They put themselves in a rough position.
I think
now.
I think people who have like a general growth mentality, which is quite rare, is something I prefer. And players who are able to remain stoic on some level, or at least appreciate the idea of kind of like being able to like not focus on the things you can't control. I think there's things that I appreciate in players, but the issue is that I find that sometimes a player's personality kind of is their strength and weakness, right? So like to have a personality that makes you play aggressively and kind of think about just mechanics and stuff, it's kind of like your strength and weakness. So it's kind of like you don't want to change their personality, but you do want to make sure that they don't like. You want to patch up some of the weaknesses that their personality might bring, you know. Alexi's just killing everyone every single time. It's incredible.
SMG, they don't take the bait. They don't quickly move off of the one bit of info that they've seen.
What are some things out of your control? I mean, if you read like actual Stoic philosophy, it's really interesting. Like that, they'll say even like your reputation is out of your control, right? They'll say like your reputation isn't controlled by you. So like, why focus on it? Like.
Ready for the re-aggression. I mean, that kind of retaking space.
But most of the time it's things like, I don't know, like stuff that other people do. Like if a team, if the other team does something dumb against you, if like there's a light shining in your eye on the stage, or if there's like, you know, stuff that like you have to get on with, and there's nothing you could do in the moment about. Like there's so many things. Like this applies not just to Valorant, obviously, but life in general. Like.
I'll try that at home.
Obviously, you have to kind of fight for yourself and try and make things right, but like, you can't fixate on stuff.
She's gonna get bullied off of the pit though. There to greet, there to receive as the clip runs dry, so does her health.
Again, another fast.
KRU playing close, the Prowler giving the position away, a spam through to try to deny the plan as she's
just
now
again,
decayed. She's seized, can't hear a dang thing. Somehow stays alive, and we continue to see this game of cat and mouse on the flanks. They knew that she was there, and that's actually going to force Alexi back.
Well, I'm not streaming on my own channel because I didn't get rights to do GC, and then I got the rights to do it after agreeing to do it for Sliggy. And I'll be honest, I didn't really want to do much streaming. So like I thought what I'd do is I'll cover the 2 days that Sliggy's got to do that isn't doing, and that kind of gives me the out that I don't actually need to stream the whole thing, because I don't really want to stream the whole thing. I thought it just made sense, you know. So a bit of a long-winded way of saying that, like, I just wanted to do 2 days, to be honest.
You have a really nice setup out from KRU in this post plant. KRU has to venture forward. If you take care of
We haven't got a judge to clear lamps this time, so it's not the best idea to go through lamps in my opinion. Am I watching the final? I mean, possibly, but do I get the sub money? Sliggy said he'd give me like half the money or something. I don't know. Like I genuinely don't care. Like I don't care at all. I know it's a bit of a meme that I'm jobless or whatever, but I just thought that like I watched all the GC VODs on my stream, and then I went on Plat Chat to talk about GC. It would feel right to at least stream some of the days, you know. And I've never watched Partied before either. Like I always watch VODs on stream, so it's kind of new to me to actually watch a game live, especially on stream. Like I never watch games live, really.
All the way up short A.
Can they close this out in the last round of the half?
Oh, that's nice, by the way.
The shot delivered.
We push here, forces people into the up. Like this is some high level like stuff. Like some people might be like, oh, you're pushing 2 sides of the map at once, isn't that stupid? But like to force a team into your ult is like a really good idea. It's part of the reason why Optic was so good. They were always like forcing people into, yeah.
Both guys just stared at each other for a second, surprised. It's like, hey, hang on, how the heck are you here? But they dropped the pit. Spike still not planted. Finally picked back up. Gonna have to navigate through all this.
These 2v2 pits. So we got it again. Oh.
That's the pit. It's gonna force the plant to delay for a second longer. Alexi's gonna clean that up. A 7-5 half.
Shaz is doing a good job. I'm gonna shout out Shaz. Shaz is like, you could see her on the cam. Like every time they're like even losing rounds, she doesn't look dejected at all. Like, and it's so important that your leader is like not like is Shaz the leader? If she's not, then she's doing a good job either way. Like not always like sometimes in teams like your emotional leader might not even be the IGL, right? But most of the time it will be.
Hi, Ginny here, and we're joined with Lori as well as Sarma. So thank you so much, guys. How does it feel to be experiencing it from the crowd's perspective?
It's been really fun. Everyone's so supportive and loud, and it's like, I don't know, it's such a fun experience. Just being a fan today. This is my first time ever experiencing like a Valorant event or any esports event, really, so it's a good experience.
Okay, a very great week of first, and I'm going to unfortunately have to ask you a little bit more of a difficult question, and that is in regards to what happened yesterday. So do you maybe want to give us a little bit of a breakdown there?
Our loss? There's nothing like too in-depth that I can say. We played how we wanted to as a team, and we just ended up losing as a team.
What's
It was,
this, by the way?
I would say a better showing than how we played against SMG.
This jacket.
And I'm a little bit more proud of my performance, and I'm just happy that I had the time to experience on stage and with this amazing Brazilian crowd, and it was a great time. So I appreciate all the fans, everyone here.
Anything particular, though, that you would like to say to the crowd or the fans as well?
I love you guys. You guys are the best. I hope we can come back here one year.
All right, well, we'll see. Thank you so much for that. Lori, you said it was very much a first experience for you here in the crowd, being on LAN. What has been the biggest takeaway?
Everyone's so nice, so supportive, and it's just so fun. Like I want to keep like interacting with the fans and just watching the games, supporting my friends, and it'll be good.
Well, thank you so much for that. We're going to be heading back over to the casters, and that was live from the crowd.
Yeah, to be fair, that's like my personality.
You know, a couple of different
Like,
personalities in the community.
I think if
give
you
their
ever,
perspective on one
I don't know if it ever
one-on-one
came
event,
across,
you know,
but
even
like,
the crowd, the energy in here has been so much fun today, Athena.
Yeah, I mean, I also love to see players.
I don't think it
still
ever
coming
came
back to the
across
arena, even though, I mean,
on
unfortunately
camera,
they
but
did
like,
lose, but they're still
the
here
way
to
I
support
coach is
and
very
watch,
like,
and we love that energy, and we
what's the
love
worst that can
players that
happen,
come back into it.
and then
Now,
try and work
the
backwards
pistol
from there,
round,
like in
finally
everything.
live. We have
And it's a
Frenzy
terrible,
and Neri. We
it's a
know she's
terrible
beast with this.
philosophy
She
to live
loves
your life
using
by
that
if
gun,
you want to
but we're
actually
gonna have the hookah setup
sleep.
actually from Crew, which
But
might combat the
if you don't
pace
mind not
that SMG is
sleeping,
trying
then
to make sure they need to use some sort of Roomba or
it's
some
a
sort of
good
dog
it's a
pound
good
to get
problem
the space,
solving kind
because
of trait
this
to
is
have.
a nice crossfire waiting to happen.
Will they use anything? It's not going to be the dog. That's going up long. There's the Roomba. The nade's going to push them off. The angle, the discipline there is gorgeous. Understanding you had some pressure alleviated on one side. Still the due diligence to check the other. Do they pop from here?
And I think that ties in quite well with the kind of like stoic thing too. It's like, what, like, I always be like, what's the worst thing that can happen? How can we solve it? And then,
doesn't turn out to be the case.
if it does happen, it's like,
that is, of course, where SMG's headed.
you do everything you can to try and prevent the thing from happening, but at the end of the day, it's out of your control if it does happen.
And
Right?
Andy Semlin that we were talking about before
So you can't
is
really like beat yourself
momentarily
up too much.
forgotten. Ultimately, though, they do have some space.
Because as long as you put the work in, you can never blame yourself too much. You can own up to the mistake.
Off of the tap, they flash. They take the fight on the other side of the smoke. SMG still up on this for now. Rami's so weak. Just a sliver of health remains. Kinnear not much better off, really, but they commit to this. They decide they want to lean into the numbers that they have and the positioning that they've acquired. Get the spike down, and they're going to play off this. Shirazi has, but that's all it is for now. Healing the pressure. The first falls, the second will as well.
It's like they
A
just win
3K
every
for
duel, man.
KRU and the pistol for SMG.
Wow. Crew actually playing that round so well. Just losing those 1v1s at the end. They actually walk re-cleared long, and with that information, instantly sped up to rotate towards A. They had so many players on site ready to retake, but they did not take the space that they needed to. They had such good timing too. I mean, I was just begging for this.
Yeah, and I mean, I
in the
guess
smoke
to have
to
some
hold that
perspective
flash
on
and
it too
just
is
pop
quite
out,
good. To
and
be
everyone
like I think
flooded
me and
the site,
Bosto
but
always
unfortunately
kind of,
wasn't quick enough because
like, we didn't,
SMG ended up setting up
like 3 years
really
ago,
good
Bosto was
crossfires,
jobless,
getting Kinnear into a
and
spot
like
where
I
she
was a
wasn't
graphic
blinded by
designer,
the
so
flash,
like
and they played that really,
we
really
had a
well
pretty
from
good
SMG as
perspective
well.
on things that like, you know,
Try to go fast on this one.
losing ain't the end of the world, you know. It's not.
Surely you've heard the satchel and the dog. Yeah, the fight's gonna ensue out in sand.
It's not as deep as what people on Twitter might make.
The benefit
you
for them though is,
think,
I mean, they've gotten
you
B.
know.
I wonder, do they stay here? Do they decide to push through spawn and go towards A? They want to commit to this. They're gonna get Alexi to get the spike down. Aneri wanting to find a free one quietly, and surely she does. I mean, we've seen a lot of judge kills
I
this
love
tournament.
judges. That is great. and now we need to see them.
Get the
sweeping
Judge
that
Club
side because
hoorays
they
in the
know that
chat,
there were
guys.
players in Hookah originally. We
Yeah, I
have
used to
an
be a
area
graphic
playing close
designer.
to the Judge. Again, a really good way to get your team.
Guys, if you've not seen Coach Potatoes, that's all me, baby.
Stunning. She goes for more, but Shies is ready
Get the
with
Coach
trade.
Potatoes link in the chat
That
ready.
Guardian proving to be problematic. But how much more bite is left in that? I mean, Michaela's so weak here. Unlucky. We saw that.
One enemy remaining.
That pays off in another kill, but Shies falls. Michaela's left alone. No attempt to grab the Guardian and stay alive or anything like that. Just going to die to the spike. Move on to the next round.
Where to go happy by full ammo. No, I'm gonna leave those ones for my stream. I'll leave those ones for mine.
They managed to get that first blood.
Mystic got so
round,
inted. You know,
not much they
Mystic's
could've
flash
done because
wasn't
they
actually
stuck to
bad.
that hookah space.
He
They
calmed,
didn't
he
have
was
time
flashing.
to regain any long control or regain
Doma
that
just didn't
much
turn.
map control towards the site because
Doma
just set
asked
up
for the
right in that
flash.
corner, ready to deny
Mystic said
anything else
it
from
might not
happening.
reach.
Reclearing
Get
that
ready to
hookah
turn.
super fast. SMG again, super,
Like,
super
in my
confident, and I
opinion.
love to see this from them.
And like, I think people like picked out that round as if like we lost 3-0. Like we lost 3-0. It wasn't like it was gonna turn the game around.
That vintage Viper wall going
Like
through
we
the
could have maybe
teleporter,
come back from
causing
2-0,
some
but
problems. You imagine there's going to be a
we hadn't
dog
even won the map.
too as well to confirm that there are players playing back towards showers, but actually it seems like Khalid is holding on to it for now. And Kinnear gets a kill. They tried coming fast out of showers. KRU's already here though. I mean, they have 3 members who are playing up in pipes and heaven. They're going to have Romy, who's going to be
So
coming in on the
5v4
lane
retake.
flank.
We can see the flank happening again, even on
And
KRU's
honestly,
side, but
Athena, the more I look at this, the
we
more
have
I'm
no
concerned
backside control.
As SMG continues to get into these post-plant positions, they're all
SMG
tight,
play these
very
situations
aggressive,
quite
given that they
well,
have
where like
a Spectre, given that they have
Okay.
a Sheriff, that could be problematic, but
Oh, we
Alexi
got a
falls
Judge.
to the nade. No less.
No,
They're going to have
don't
to
run
take
into
this
the
fight
judge.
into the Judge. There it is, and Airy gets
Okay,
a kill, but
nice.
it traded right back. Have they bought enough time?
That was a
KRU had
solid-
nothing really to do there.
solid
KRU
retake
take the
from
site
KRU.
back.
Yeah,
Solid
with the
retake.
loss of numbers on SMG's side, it was
When you
really
say work backwards on the worst thing that can
question
happen,
of
what
are
exactly
they
do you
gonna
mean?
push and get some space and
So,
try
like,
to capitalize and regain those numbers.
I would always
But
think,
instead
what's
they
the
decided to
worst thing
sit
that can
down,
happen?
Which sucks because they have so much
And
youth on the
then
KRU
try
side
and
for a
problem
retake.
solve
They are
it.
so ready. But then again, that was
Like,
just a
obviously, it
bonus
has to be
round,
something
and we're finally
reasonable.
gonna see the first gun
What's the
round
worst
of
thing
this
likely
half.
to
And now
happen?
just in this
Rather,
retake,
is probably
Romy
the way
with a
I would phrase
beautiful
it.
first kill,
And then
walking up,
just
getting
problem
the
solve it.
Lamb's kill for that
And then
team.
ask, what's the next thing?
Just such a
What's the
good
next worst
retake,
thing that's likely to
especially
happen?
with the long flank.
And
It
problem
was
solve for that too.
overall really well played from
And
KRU.
just
They
work
were not
backwards.
scared that they had those bonus guns.
You go to the worst thing, and then you work your way back.
Keep a close eye on the ults. It does look like Hamiu's 1 point away from having that online. Shy's also in a similar position. And a late Viper wall going up.
And then that like applies to like strategy too, where it's like Boaster might show me a strat, and I'll try and like work out, well, what's the worst thing that could happen to make this strat not work,
There's
and
no real
then
aggression out from KRU. Gonna prowler
try and
through,
like play devil's
stop
advocate,
one.
you know.
And that's all it is, but KRU
So
patient
like
with
works
it.
both as like a general
Choosing not to
philosophy,
move.
I guess,
That's
and
a
also
ton of
like
info.
specifically
They just
quite
got
practical.
so much info from that dog through the prowler through TP and the dog through long. Now they know that they're definitely going to be looking like.
But I also
taking
just
out
think I'm
long
generally
again.
quite
They can
pessimistic.
TP at
Like,
any point in
I-
time, but
I
Michaela
would
leading
thought
off
we'd
in
lose like every
so
single
early,
game.
that's
Like even
definitely
after
a
like
sign
winning
that
2
they were
trophies, I still
trying
think we'd
to
lose
set
every
up
game.
for
You know?
some
Like
sort of B hit. Stuck in Octagon. This is looking
I don't think
so
my
rough for
brain
SMG
thought it,
already.
but like
This slow playstyle really doesn't suit them in this.
I was never like I was very rarely super
What was the
confident about
cue?
anything.
How do they know?
I didn't like embody that though.
I
I
mean,
wasn't
you're
like
so
the
persistent.
boys that, oh my god, Mini so confident.
Now this actually alleviates a lot
But
of
like
pressure.
I just
You're
had
able
like
to
this
take
thing in my
one
head. I
off
was
of
like,
the
we're gonna
site.
lose
If you
today.
do need to be,
It was
you
quite
imagine
unhealthy,
you're gonna
I'd
have
say.
some sort of a numbers advantage.
But it does make you work hard.
And off of that, they pop the flash. Khalid has gone unchecked though. Has a flash
So
of
we
her
got
own.
sight
Feeling some of the
smokes
pressure.
here.
Michaela playing in the smoke. Now the rotations are coming through. This has been very slow for SMG.
Sight smokes into an elbow push. SMG look a little bit lost right now.
All members of SMG fall.
Like they did
That was a massive blunder.
sight
Yeah,
smokes
that
into
was such a
elbow, but I don't
confusing
really
round
understand.
Again. Earlier, I was talking about how with this
Bro,
double
I should be a
mission with
caster.
comp,
Me and Athena on the
Chamber
same
needs
page.
to be beating this util out, but instead they're letting them use the util, letting them get all the information in the world. They knew for sure it was gonna be a B hit. I mean, they dogged all the way down
You
low.
miss Jolly?
They prowlered through the TP. They saw everything
I miss
that was
Jolly?
gonna be happening on the SMG side. And
Did I
SMG
bully?
still
Is
opted to
Jolly
commit
such
to that
a
B
is
hit.
Jolly such a
Kind of
snowflake that like I
questionable. They
bullied
need to
him
be
off
either
by
way,
calling
way
him
faster or way smarter
not
with
funny?
how they're playing the defaults on this map. I mean, you have to bake this
By
util.
watching the other
It's-
teams, do you think
it's
anyone can measure up to
definitely
SR?
necessary
I
because
think
it's just
that
like, again, they got so much info so fast.
I
that
think on a
SMG
good
couldn't even
day,
think about it.
Right.
I mean, the
Yeah.
best
G2
thing
and
they could've done
SMG
was
could
TP.
beat
I
them
think
on
that's
SR's
fair,
bad day.
but
But
they
even
didn't have
So
any
like,
info on
obviously
the
you always got to
same
think
time.
about
exactly.
performance in
It's
terms
not
of
like
a
they were
range,
running a
right?
4-1 where they had one
Yeah,
person
yeah.
holding showers so that okay, we can abort, we can call an audible and
And so like it kind of
towards
overlaps
AVP.
like
That
this,
wasn't
whereas
an
like
option. You're
this is
absolutely
SR
right.
and this is the other
exactly.
two
So it's
teams.
just
So like if we
overall
hit this
looking
little
rough.
like
I
gap
mean, if
down
they
here,
are trying
like
to do
it's
the
possible
defaults,
that
they need to be able to have that push-pull scenario
It
where
is
they're
possible
pushing towards
sometimes.
one side, pressuring, farming orbs, having someone else lurk, having someone else hold.
Jolly's
being
scared
able
of
to
me.
put pressure on
That's
different
what I
sides
do
of the
to
map.
people.
Because again, they're playing
That's
against
what I
two
do to
prowlers,
people.
a dog, two foxes,
Is
an
the
eye.
psychology,
It's
social
almost
dynamic of the team a
impossible
job
to
for the
get
head coach?
around this round without pushing fast
The way I'd
or
explain it is that the head coach doesn't
beating
have
up the
one
system.
job, right?
It's so
And
hard.
the head coach has to fit
SMG,
within the
they're
strengths and
looking like
weaknesses
they're
of
gonna
whatever
switch
team you're in.
something up after this
So
tactical
luckily
pause.
in Fnatic
They
we had a
do have
performance
just a
coach for
hero
like
vandal
we had
on
performance coach in
Heidi, but
Marcus, we had a
opting to
performance
go
coach in
with
Ewan.
Sheriff and
So it
just
meant that
hope for the
anything
best.
that I wasn't super comfortable at doing, I could
Is
always
that going
talk
to be
with like
enough?
Colin, my manager, or like
no real presence at all towards
performance
short
performance
early on.
coach, and like try and
Now the
figure out a
Prowler
way
getting
to
cleared
like
out by nothing but a classic,
you know,
concealing anything else that might be back
get
behind
people who
there.
are better
It
at
is a
things that
vandal
I'm
and
not
the
as good
Sheriff
at
that
to
you
do those
mentioned,
things.
but it was just the classic that was fired. Is that going to be enough to lull them into a false sense of security as they've contacted so
So I do
far
think
up?
delegation
She
is
has no
probably
idea.
a skill
There's
that
no
you
way she
need as a
knows.
head coach.
She got past the Prowler. Freaking a Nightfall, and that's going to give everything away. Plant committed, the nade will buy time. It'll dissuade any sort of
You
push.
need to know how to use people. The
They
amount
need
of
attempt to
coaches
crush. This
I've
is really
talked to
bold.
that who
Too
say that
close to
their
teleporter,
assistant
drops
coach is
the
like
Seekers.
useless,
Do they
it's
fly?
incredible. When I'm just like,
Or are
bro,
they just gonna
that
wait on
sounds
the
like
other
you're a
side
bad
of the
head
dam?
coach.
My God, Khalida giving a gun up to Camille. That is not what you want. You need to be way more patient. Putting that pressure, the ult, the brim ult, they need to delay for so much longer. But again, they just finally tapped the bomb. The delay so good, but Camille actually getting picked off, even though she still had mollies and Neri left in a 2v1, make that a 1v1. Gunir.
70 HP, she's got to go fast, she's got to go so freaking
Neri
fast.
even hits it,
and
man.
Neri's there to greet her.
Oh, the
SMG
cursor.
up
Sorry,
to
I
10.
watch VODs. Like I
Crew
told
just
you,
giving
I told you
up
guys yesterday. I
so
literally
much
watch
space
VODs
on
in
the
like
map. For
windowed
what
mode.
reason? For
I'm
what
writing
reason?
notes.
They
Like
are
I don't
unpistoled.
care about
They were
the
so
presentation, so
far
I'm sorry.
back, and they were not
I keep
ready
forgetting.
for that aggression.
I'm
Again,
mostly just
once
looking
SMG gets
like
map
here
space, they
most of the
take
time.
that
I'm
space,
never
they
really
push the
looking
backside, they get the pick. They didn't even
anywhere
need to get a
else.
pick. They just played it so well because they
So I don't
knew
notice
that they
them.
had
Ooh,
that
they
brim
were
ult.
snappy
They
too.
had
Exactly.
Brim Molly. They had Raze on site ready to delay. And as long as they delayed for so long, they knew that the round was secure. So again, really well played from SMG. I don't even think that they
I'm
were
not gonna try and
planning
plug
that
myself
round in
too
a way
hard,
that
but
they were
like,
trying to delay for that long. I think they're trying to
I do
delay
have a
for picks
Discord
and
channel
have
where
them
like
tacked
people
up.
do want to ask more
Crew,
questions.
again,
Like,
just gave them
like this is
so
gonna be the
much
last day
space to work
streaming.
with.
I usually
I mean,
do
it was
answer
really
questions every day on my
opportunistic. I
stream.
think, again, to go back
If
to
you
the
guys
kill
put
that
them in my
Khalida gave
Discord.
back in showers, allowing the upgrade of a weapon and alleviating
I
some of
won't
that
like
pressure, I think was
hard.
massive. So they invest
Should I
pretty
link my
considerable
Discord?
amount
I
of
feel
that.
like
So you
it's.
think
I think
about
like
the
Siggy be fine with
Seekers,
linking my
once
Discord.
they hit through
Let me
teleporter
find
and
it one sec.
everything that came along with that, though. So it wasn't even just that they lost the round. It was
I
it
won't
was
take
a
his money,
pretty
but you
notable
guys can
investment.
come join my
Yeah,
Discord
it was
if you've got any more
expensive for sure.
questions,
I
and
mean,
I'll answer
Khalida
them
TPing
in
with
stream.
those Seekers, it looked so good.
I'm not going to be
until
streaming it as
she
much.
decided to
I
peek
don't
by
know if
herself.
you guys know, but
She
like,
knows the Seekers were
I'm
going
probably
towards
going to be
shower. She
taking
knew
a
that
job
there was at
soon.
least another player ready to trade
Like,
whatever
I am
frag
not
that she
so
was trying to go
jobless
for,
Right.
but
as I make
she
out to
gave
be.
up a weapon, and ultimately that
There we
kind
go.
of
That's the
speed
Discord
and
thing.
missed timing that she
So
had
I am
just run
gonna
into
probably
showers
not
right
gonna
away
stream as much,
before
but
making
I'll
the
probably
team
do one
put
or
a
two
lot
more
of
streams
pressure.
before
Lost cost
next
them
year.
such a huge part of map control.
There are no leaks.
On the other
in
side of
my
the timeout,
chat.
Crew decided that they want to drop 4 of their members A. And this is with guns too. This isn't like a cheeky, oh my gosh, they've guessed correctly.
Oh my god, he's.
Aneri didn't see
I
him.
said she's
Or
just
knew,
like
but
gone
decided
straight
to fight the
past.
fight in front of her instead. Alexi's able to get past it.
Oh,
Michaela
oh,
with
for
the
oh.
counter showstopper. And through that, I mean,
Raise ults into
cacophony
raise
of
ults, so like,
utility
I don't know.
At the beginning of the round,
It's a
things
vibe.
settle into a 3v3.
Yeah, equalized for sure. I mean, that was crazy. And Neri, unfortunately, just missing Kalita.
Like, I'd be watching Durka ult there, and I'd be like, go on, Durka. And then I hear the ult back, and I'm just like, please, for the love of God, please.
That ended up working perfectly. And now SMG speeding up into a B hit because they knew.
Like, watching games with like, you guys never get to watch games with like Fog of War, right? Like, I get the perspective of like one side. And it's such a nerve-wracking experience to watch a game with like no overview of what's happening.
Towards elbow, that's definitely the right call because they need the space.
If they can get these kills, if they can swing at the right time, this will be secure. Kahibi's there on the first. Where's the counter punch? Where's the sucker punch? There it is from Shirazi. A little bit delayed, a little labored.
Alexi.
But it ultimately comes through. Kinnear flashed up, can't see a
Can't
damn
lose,
thing.
can she?
SMG get to 11. KRU on potential last breath here.
Fog of War is the right thing to say, right? You know what I mean. I used to play Warcraft 3 a lot when I was a kid, so like Fog of War is like the term that I used to rock. I think it's
countered everything. And, oh, Sky
I think it's the
running
right thing
just
to say.
through the Viper wall. That's
Maybe
how
I
he
sound a
got
bit
away,
pretentious
but the
saying words like
rockets
that, but
trading each other.
it's
That
correct,
was
I think.
so messy to watch. It was so much happening on my screen that I'm sure everyone was confused. But again, SMG just regrouping towards that B. That was so good, and they played it so well too. They
Bro,
knew
I
they
wouldn't
couldn't
think
play
too
off.
deep about my personality when I say
It's a
Fog of
little
War.
shaky 'cause they didn't peek off the chamber,
I'm not
but
that
still
much of a
overall well
nerd.
played.
Like, I'm a nerd,
Well,
but like
KRU
I'm not like
done their
sat around
diligence,
playing
making
Dungeons
sure
and
that
Dragons
there's
or
nobody
anything.
They push down sand, they push down long. They know that that spot is safe, and so off of that,
Although I did
feeling
have fun
some
playing
pressure,
Dungeons
they
and
sent
Dragons
through
when we
to
played it
teleporter.
tonight.
But oh my goodness, she was looking the wrong way. What the heck was that? They dropped
we're
the
just in
overstrike,
spawn.
and SMG's already up in
We're
pipes.
just
They're
in
in their
spawn.
spawn. Shies managed to grab a weapon and get a kill for it. A 3v3, the only rifle in the hands of the Fade.
Kayla.
The Sheriff shot's just not connecting, just not on the mark. And now Khalid is left alone. That's not going to have a difference either.
I mean, KRU at this
SMG
put up a
series
fight,
point,
but
KRU should be
series
able to buy
point,
something here.
5 chances.
They're down to their very
It's a
last
5. It's a
Yeah,
5.
being
It's
super,
a
super rough
5.
for KRU. They do have this Viper
5.
skill. They can definitely get a lot of map
We got a
control
time at
and force
5.
SMG to push and
Look at that, it's modern art right there.
They can because they do have limited amounts.
How do I
Pushing
delete it
all
all?
the way through into their spawn. That
I know how
was,
to delete it all.
again, just unfortunately the wrong gamble from KRU, like you said. And now we're
5
starting to see
opportunities.
SMG speed up the pace on how we normally would see them play, and I think it's working out great for them. So wondering if this is the round that they decide to speed it up, or they know that the other team is going to use that Viper pit
To seize
force some of
everything
the
you ever
short,
wanted.
somewhere in hookah, somewhere long, somewhere to just get some sort of free map control, because this is what KRU desperately needs.
And for SMG, I mean, I want to go back to the point you were just making, because it does seem like the pace is accelerated.
Yeah.
In these
My
last
heart
couple
kind of
rounds, perhaps
twinged a
it's
little
smelling
bit
blood
there.
in the
Did
water,
your hearts twinge a
right?
little bit?
Realizing that you've got them exactly
The head
where you
coach
want
is
them,
kind of
just gotta
like
take
looking
one
a bit
final punch,
nervous,
knock
and
them
the
out. Both literally
maybe
and
the assistant
figuratively,
coach
I
is
mean,
kind of giving the
this
kind
is
of
an
mum
excellent
talk.
position for SMG to be in.
Yeah, for sure. They're definitely, they swung the momentum their way, and this is why I was talking about KRU earlier, how this is their map pick, but they definitely needed more rounds on that attack to kind of get the momentum in their way. And now this defense not looking too hot, because the
Thank you,
two
Takashari.
initiators, yes, they're great at info. Yes, they're great at
6 months in the Slug
holding
Club.
and
That's
delaying,
another Slug
but
Club
at the same
hooray.
time, they don't have
Slug
that
Club's hooray in the
incentive
chat.
to just be a nuisance on the defense side. So now
What about
we
my
do
Discord? Will
see
be active
SMG
there.
grouping up
Yeah, I don't use
towards
any other
that
Discord
long
channels or
lead.
anything,
Have
so
the
like
Viper as well
I'll
towards
be
hookah,
more than
not
happy to
even
kind of
planning
chat
to
nonsense in my
insert
Discord.
themselves into any sort of lurking position, just holding. But KRU is all in hookah, Doug.
Like, I'm not just gonna
I do like
abandon
how they're doing
like
this. I
the Discord.
really
and-
like his defensive setup. I like how Rami's playing to be able to impact both sides of the map with her pit and then the wall.
Like, I
The
do
problem
quite.
is
I
there's no one there to
enjoy it. You
keep
know,
that
like I
wall
do
in check.
enjoy.
So they've gotten
Ooh.
past the wall, they've gotten out onto the site, and they realize, yeah, there's a little bit that you're going to have to alleviate in hookah.
Strange
But
idea.
SMG just disrespect the setup
If I put ult
entirely.
late here and push, bit of a strange idea.
My gosh, I mean, crunching towards that hookah. They don't even need the hookah space. They know they don't need this. They're just playing for themselves, holding that long, because it's such
SMG
an
have already
important
pushed
space
CT.
to play from with the Brim Molly. But they're finally getting countered. Michaela with the
We don't have
instant kill.
time,
Camille,
like,
Camille
we
needed
have to
stay alive with their
speed up.
Molly there.
And Alexi's now trying to do a bit of the same. You'd see a quick step back, but you're set up into a one and done. Just you're going to get checked. Khalida does get one. Aneri playing backside, Michaela pushing forward. It's just those two, unaware of where the other member was, but it all falls onto Aneri. Can she land the shot onto Michaela? Yes, she
GG's.
SMG survive.
GG's.
What an
Give a clap.
explosive way to end that game. I mean,